It was a busy evening at the downtown restaurant. The place buzzed with conversation and the clinking of silverware against plates. Robert Downey Jr. walked in quietly, dressed casually in jeans and a simple button-up shirt with a small cross necklace visible at his collar. He wasn't trying to draw attention to himself, just looking for a peaceful dinner after a long day. The hostess was busy with another group, so Robert found an empty table near the window and sat down, glancing at the menu displayed on the table. A female employee with a stern expression approached his table. She had dark hair pulled back tightly and wore the restaurant's standard black uniform. As she got closer, her eyes narrowed when she noticed the cross necklace around Robert's neck. Her face immediately twisted with disdain. "Christians are not allowed here," she snapped loudly, her voice cutting through the restaurant noise. "Get out right now." Her finger pointed aggressively toward the door as she glared at him. The employee had no idea she was speaking to one of Hollywood's most recognizable actors, the man who brought Iron Man to life on the big screen. The restaurant fell completely silent. The sudden quiet was deafening as conversation stopped mid-sentence and forks paused halfway to mouths. Everyone turned to stare at the unfolding scene. An older couple at a nearby table exchanged shocked glances. A young woman recording her meal for social media slowly turned her phone towards the commotion. Two waiters by the kitchen door stood frozen, trays still in hand, mouths open in disbelief at their colleagues' behavior. Robert Downey Jr. didn't stand up or raise his voice. Instead, he took a deep breath and looked up at the employee with calm, kind eyes. "I understand you have strong feelings," he said in a measured tone, "but I believe everyone deserves respect regardless of their faith or background." His voice was gentle yet carried throughout the silent restaurant. "Just like you wouldn't want to be judged unfairly for your beliefs or who you are, I hope you can find it in your heart to extend that same courtesy to others. We're all just people trying to enjoy a good meal and a pleasant evening." The silence deepened as people processed his words. Some diners had begun to recognize him, whispering and pointing. A man in a business suit leaned over to his companion and whispered loudly enough for others to hear, "That's Robert Downey Jr. That's literally Iron Man she's yelling at." The whisper spread like wildfire through the restaurant, table by table, as recognition dawned on the faces of the patrons. Phones appeared in hands as people tried to discreetly capture the moment. The employee's expression transformed as the truth sank in. Her face flushed deep red, starting at her neck and creeping up to her hairline. Her eyes widened with the horrible realization of what she had done and who she had done it to. I didn't know. I'm so sorry, Mr. Downey," she stammered. Her previous confidence completely evaporated. Her hands began to tremble as she clutched her notepad tightly against her chest, looking as though she might burst into tears at any moment. Robert shook his head gently. "It's not about who I am," he explained, still maintaining his composed demeanor. "It's not about me being in movies or playing a superhero. It's about how we treat each other as human beings. Fame doesn't entitle me to respect any more than faith should prevent someone from receiving it." He gestured to the chair across from him. "What do you say we start over?" "I'd still like to try whatever the chef recommends today." The restaurant manager, a tall man in a tailored suit, rushed over with a look of horror on his face. Beads of sweat had formed on his forehead as he profusely apologized. "Mr. Downey, please accept our deepest and most sincere apologies for this terrible incident. This absolutely does not reflect our values as an establishment. Everyone is welcome here, regardless of their beliefs, background, or identity." The manager wrung his hands nervously. "Your meal today is completely on the house, and that employee will be dealt with appropriately." Several customers had begun to applaud Robert's graceful handling of the situation. The applause spread across the restaurant until nearly everyone was clapping. Some stood up from their tables, offering a standing ovation for the way he had responded to discrimination with such dignity and wisdom. A few people wiped tears from their eyes, moved by the encounter they had witnessed. "Thank you, but that's not necessary," Robert responded to the manager with a small smile. "Mistakes happen, and we all deserve second chances." He turned his attention back to the employee who still stood frozen in embarrassment. "I think we were about to discuss the menu options." His warm smile invited her to move forward from the incident rather than dwell on it. With shaking hands, the employee handed Robert a menu. "Our special today is the grilled salmon with lemon butter sauce," she said quietly, her voice barely audible. Robert nodded appreciatively and began to look over the options. Gradually, the normal sounds of the restaurant returned as conversations resumed, though many were now focused on what they had just witnessed. Several patrons approached Robert's table throughout his meal to express their admiration for how he handled the situation. By the time Robert finished his meal and left a generous tip, the story was already spreading on social media. What started as an ugly moment of discrimination had transformed into a powerful lesson about handling conflict with grace and the importance of treating everyone with dignity, regardless of who they are or what they believe. The real-life hero had proven to be just as inspiring as the superhero he portrayed on screen.